Hello, and thanks again for joining us. Stakeholders in the Purple Line met this week to learn about a new report prepared by the University of Maryland focused on equity and sustained development along the upcoming public transportation corridor, and it was prepared by the University of Maryland. Once it's complete, Silver Spring will be home to 8 of the 10 Montgomery County stops. This project has the potential to touch so many lives in our region, from those who seek new job opportunities to businesses eager to find new customers. I think it's important to have a report like this come out long before the first trains roll between Montgomery and Prince George's County. We must have a plan so that no group is left out, with so many opportunities ahead. I remain highly concerned about the impact of speculative real estate development along the corridor and what that impact will have on residential and commercial rents. The Purple Line corridor may well be the ideal corridor in which to pilot residential and commercial rent stabilization. Many of the neighborhoods along this corridor will face intense gentrification pressures unless we enact policies to protect the people living along that route now. Businesses need help too. We're engaging our small and locally owned businesses in the most impacted commercial areas to ensure not only they survive construction, but that they thrive afterwards. In all of this, we cannot forget about the walkers and bicyclists who also need safe access to and from Purple Line stations. We must work hard to make sure our plans are coordinated and user-friendly to help get people to work and school and everywhere else. I want to thank the Purple Line Corridor Coalition for the work it's doing and thinking ahead on these equity issues, and others that surround this massive project, which has the potential to impact so many people. This is Maryland's largest transportation investment of the 21st century. Let's make sure this works for everyone. The county continues to be concerned with the security needs of nonprofit organizations, especially ones that face public criticism for political reasons. It's why Montgomery County has opened up a new round of grants for groups that could be targeted in hate crimes and violence through the Office of Emergency Management. The county has reserved $800,000 in this year's budget for the Nonprofit Security Grants Program. Organizations have until October 26th to apply. There are 3 informational sessions remaining to get details about the program and have your questions answered. They will take place on Monday, October 3rd at 7 p.m., Wednesday, October 19th at 1 p.m., and Monday, October 24th at 7 p.m. The county and Montgomery County Police Department have also teamed up to help organizations identify security issues and lead training for organizations and places of worship that feel like they need help. Montgomery County will continue to be an inclusive place to live for our diverse community, and we will work to prevent crimes of hate and bias. Hate has no home here. Early voting for the general election begins October 27th. Recently, we got some good news that will make everyone feel that things are running more smoothly this time than they did this summer. Last week, the Montgomery County Circuit Judge ruled to allow the Board of Elections to start the process of preparing mail-in ballots ahead of the election day. This is great news for voters and candidates. It will prevent the long delay in reporting final election results like we saw after July's primary, and it will ensure that newly elected officials will be able to be sworn in on time. This decision changes the ballot counting process used this summer when the Board of Elections had to wait 48 hours after election day to even begin counting mail-in ballots. As a result, the board was swamped with counting ballots that took weeks to tally. The General Assembly had passed a law this session allowing the early processing of mail-in ballots before Election Day, but it was vetoed by the governor. Not allowing election workers to get ahead of the mail process simply doesn't make sense with the tens of thousands of people who chose to vote by mail. The court's decision last week is an acknowledgement that there's a new normal and voters expect the process to be convenient and easy, and they expect their votes to be counted quickly. Sadly, it appears that the Republican nominee for governor has a different view. He's filed an appeal in an attempt to reverse the court's decision and once again have our election workers counting ballots for weeks after Election Day. It's my hope the courts will uphold last week's ruling, and I believe this decision is better for Maryland. With the beginning of October comes Energy Action Month. Our Department of Environmental Protection is encouraging residents to be more energy conscious. Everyone should look to reduce their use of carbon-based energy and begin to adopt alternative energy sources like electricity and wind. Throughout the month of October, we'll be leading the public push for people to make decisions about different ways they can power their lives. Next week's theme will be Electrify Your Ride Week. The following week will be Electrify Your Home, then Electrify Your Kitchen, and we'll wrap up the month with Electrify Your Lawn. I've been driving an electric car for several years now and have just put solar panels on top of my house. I'm also looking into fitting my house with electric appliances. Interest and enthusiasm for electric options are really beginning to grow now. There are more than 16,000 plug-in vehicles registered in the county, and more than half of them are fully electric. And I have no doubt that demand for these options will continue to grow as more people in Montgomery County follow our climate action plan and do what they can do to help us reach our zero carbon goal by 2035. Just last month, we got an important update on our efforts through the Climate Action Annual Report. By the end of this calendar year, 76 single-family homes has installed solar panels throughout the Capital Area Solar Co-op, which offers discounted pricing and a quality installation. We've also committed more money to the county's Green Bank to help businesses reduce their carbon footprint. Later this month, the county will cut the ribbon on a bus depot that will now be equipped with a solar panel canopy that will create a microgrid and be the power source for our new electric buses. We look forward to using the month of October to raise awareness about the alternative energy uses in the county and to share ideas on how people can save money and the environment. Our Hispanic Heritage Month tour of businesses continued last week with a trip up I-270. The first stop was at the Art Gallery in Kentlands. It's the second space opened by two women behind Rofa and Beta Galleries. The original location, La Morada, in Potomac, is also open to the public, but by appointment only. The women behind these galleries are proud of the Latin American artists that they've been able to showcase here in Montgomery County, giving examples of strong voices and cultural awareness. I was impressed with the political protest art from the streets of Columbia, featured at the new Kentlands location on Main Street in Gaithersburg. It was a great opportunity to see people curious about the art inside and browsing in the store when I was there last Friday. Gabriela Rosso has many stories to tell, and I wish her success as she brings 20 years of art world experience and a love for daring art to Montgomery County. Next, I traveled to Germantown to a more interactive art experience at We Art Fun, which is located just a few blocks from the Black Rock Center for the Arts. It was started by Roxana Rojas Luzon, who enjoyed the paint-your-own ceramic stores in other parts of the county and wanted to bring that experience to the Up County. In her store, I saw people painting small mementos for their homes and children working on things to hang on the wall. It's wonderful to see a small business owner see their dream realized and impacting the community. And I hope you get a chance to check out these businesses and others we highlight across the community. We're sharing pictures from all our visits through my Facebook page and also the Twitter pages. And they're also available on Montgomery County's Flickr page if you want to see more. This week I had the chance to join Montgomery County Police Chief Marcus Jones and Montgomery County Economic Development Corporation COO and President Bill Tompkins for a sit-down with the embassy leaders from Korea. They had many questions about how our government works, and topics ran the gamut from economic development to community safety, including how seriously we treat suspected hate crimes. We also spent time talking about environmental policies and education. And speaking of education, I'm very proud of how well Montgomery County Public Schools fared in the latest ranking of state schools done by Niche. Poolesville High School was rated #1 in the state, and 7 of the top 10 public high schools in Maryland are here in Montgomery County. No school in our county was ranked in the bottom half of the list, which evaluated 232 schools. These high marks would not be possible without excellent leadership and guidance from our school leaders and the outstanding teachers and staff we have in our county. They have worked hard in spite of all of the challenges we faced over the last 2 years. Of course, our students deserve a lot of credit too for paying attention, handling adversity, and doing their work. I'm proud that our county continues to stand out in many different ways and is seen as an example to learn from. I look forward to the partnerships that come from our visits with the Korean consulate and spreading the word that Montgomery County continues to have one of the best school systems in Maryland. Flu shots are now available at pharmacies all across Montgomery County. You may be thinking, I can't remember the last time I got the flu. That's exactly why making it a priority this year is so important. One side effect of the pandemic is that we've been spared a significant flu season. We've had our defenses up for so long with COVID-19 threats that our bodies may not have the resistance to flu that you would expect without a flu shot. We're also more active and around more people again, even compared to last fall. please consider booking an appointment to get your flu shot. The county will host the flu vaccine clinic in October and November. You can also call 311 for more information about flu shots available through the county or setting an appointment. But please remember, flu shots are widely available right now at pharmacies and doctors' offices. On our COVID-19 update, our case rates continue to fall with fewer than 150 cases per 100,000 people, but they've actually stayed pretty steady. Our community level status remains low. The main thing we want to stress is vaccines and boosters. They've helped us reach the level we're at now, and without those protections, we've seen what happens. Mortality rates and hospitalization rates are not on the way down like the cases are, and that's because of the very small number of unvaccinated people in our county. They account for the majority of new severe cases that we're seeing. The new bivalent vaccine, which increases protection against two different variants of COVID, Omicron and the original variant, is the only booster being administered right now. Since its introduction, we've seen a slight increase in vaccines administered throughout the county. We hope that continues and that people realize their best protection moving forward is with vaccines and boosters. Even if you haven't kept up with the booster recommendations in the past, there's no need to play catch up. This new booster is the only one recommended now. You don't need to make up for lost shots. We now have a date set for our next town hall forum on monkeypox. It will be held virtually Monday, October 10th, and focus on the Black community. Recent data shows us we're seeing a greater percentage of Black men and Hispanic men impacted by the virus. We also recently expanded eligibility for MPX vaccine, allowing anyone who is at high risk of contracting the disease to receive a vaccine through the county. Our case count in Montgomery County remains at nearly the same level it's been for the past 3 weeks, around 80 cases reported. That accounts for about 12% of the cases across the state of Maryland. We will continue to provide vaccinations and inform the community about the spread of this highly contagious disease and do our best to make sure the treatment and distribution of preventative education is fair and equitable. All that said, I hope you have a great week and look forward to talking to you again next week.